Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Chocolate Living. Thanks for joining me today. It's a nice quiet weekend we're in my world and it's a little gray outside. Not gray, maybe it'll burn off in a little while. I was reading a little bit. I tell you a good resource. I find some interesting stuff from time to time. I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter, but if you get on Twitter for any subject, some people are like, well, I like Twitter, I don't like Twitter. Twitter's whatever you make of it. You can really kind of hone in on what you like to follow and items of interest with making lists and with also using the hashtag. So sometimes I use that to be very specific. I can search on Twitter and usually get better information than I can necessarily searching on one of the search engines. But anyway, the other day I was on Twitter and reading some different wellness articles, and I came across this thread talking about longevity. And I clicked on a few of the links just to see, some of the things. I kind of knew what they would probably say, but it's always good to read them. To be able to share them, to reinforce them in your head so you can share them. I remember when I was still in San Jose, this has probably been, I don't know, 2 years ago, I used to go out about 2 or 3 mornings a week, and that's when I would have a single coffee, and I'd buy the newspaper. And I remember reading this article about the oldest people in Costa Rica, a whole bunch of them in different areas. And a lot of them, they weren't necessarily vegans. They didn't always, but it wasn't always about the food, and that's the point I'm making here. Now maybe if we're doing the food thing, we can even go to the next level. But sometimes, people get new to this lifestyle and they're all excited and blah, 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 and think that we are the healthiest humans on planet and we've invented health when, there's not even really a whole lot of history, like long-term history for us to draw on. And there's a lot of societies that are doing a lot of the things that we do and a lot of things we believe in as kind of a base, but it's just not their whole thing. And also brings to mind that the food itself isn't going to get you there. There's a lot of people, we probably network with them every day, and actually food is the only place in their life that is in that shares any of those common traits of people that live longevity. I mean, in some ways, I don't know that I'd want to eat this really good lifestyle, clean lifestyle, and then still live in the Babylon in the concrete jungle and doing this and being stressed all the time, not getting enough sleep, not doing other things, and only the food being the only component that I was focusing on for my health and wellness and just mental well-being. So there's a lot more that goes into it, and they found with those people, and I'm going to read from another, just some common traits in general, but all of these people, they had similar things. Whether they were totally vegan or not, they ate very little in the way of animal products. Their diet was a whole food, plant-based diet mostly, and a lot of these people live in rural areas where, the food is fresh and grown and it's eaten in a fairly small radius. In other words, it's local. They laugh a lot. They are connected to their families. Whether you believe in this part or not, this is more the scientific aspect of it. They have faith. They practice their faith. They practice a positive attitude. They're happy. They make themselves happy. They smile and they laugh a lot. So let's look at a few more of these. And one just happens to be one of the zones. I'm going to go through the zones pretty quick because there's just a few practical things that everybody can do. They don't, like I say, they don't do everything that we do, but they're doing a lot of things. Like for Okinawa. Okinawa, Japan is one of the blue zones, and they eat a very high based vegetable diet. They eat a lot of vegetables in their diet. Says what is even more fascinating is that Okinawans actually age more slowly than the rest of us due to higher level of sex hormones. For example, a 70-year-old man may actually have the bones and hormones of a spry 50-year-old. Okinawans rely on a low-calorie, plant-based diet and consume more tofu and soy compared to any other population. Okay, like I say, let's don't pick apart like, well, they do this and they shouldn't eat this. Mostly plant-based diet. Linda Loma, California. Now this is talking about the Seventh-day Adventists in California and how they don't smoke, don't consume alcohol, and don't consume caffeine. And they tend to live 8 to 10 years longer than the average American. And they also consume a mostly vegetarian diet. But they also contribute they kind of factor this in with the faith base of these people here. The next place, I've been over there, but I haven't been to this particular island. I always wonder why one particular spot in one of these countries. They have Ikaria, Greece. It says, dubbed the island where people forget to die. from the food they eat, sow and eat, mostly fruits, vegetables, beans, and olive oil to the company they keep, they are often up until the wee hours of the morning laughing and playing dominoes. Almost every facet of the Icarians' life improves their longevity. But it's what they don't do that contributes to their overall health. Although they travel through hills and valleys to maintain their busy social lives, the Icarians also take time to nap each day. You got to take time to power down. Give your body a rest whenever you want to. And then the last one is Costa Rica, up on the Nicoya Peninsula, which is north of here. Not only do Nicoyans live longer than their fellow Costa Ricans, but they're also healthier and less stressed overall, due in part to Plan de Vida, having a sense of purpose in life through strong community and familial ties. Multi-generational families are common in Nicoya, which helps to give centenarians a sense of purpose and belonging. Nicoyans also have a reduced risk for cardiovascular disease, are leaner, taller, and suffer fewer disabilities than other Costa Ricans, which may be due in part to eating fewer calories at night and drinking hard water. Like I say, some of these you can take or leave. I'm not trying to say every point is, that I agree with or disagree with, and here are certain, here's another article, but certain lifestyle habits were found to be common practices in each Blue Zone longevity society. So think about this, like I say, the food ain't going to get you there, if that's all you can do now, but always have in your mind, like, the food's not going to be the only thing. If the food's the only component, for me it's like I can relate to yoga. It's like it's a very incomplete practice of yoga if you're just doing the physical, just doing the asana. Now that doesn't mean it's bad, it's just meaning it's not the full practice, and we're not doing the most that we can for our health if it's all about the food and we're not paying attention to any other areas in our life. So these common practices in all these Blue Zones were emphasis on strong family values, strong community values, exclusively plant-based diets, whole food lifestyles based on fruits and veggies, antioxidants and anti-aging herbs are plentiful, daily benefits of physical exercise, and mostly we're talking about there people that are not like going out for a walk or not going out to pump iron or do this. They're just, that's incorporated in their daily life. That physical activity, functional physical activity is a part of their daily life. They all know how to deal with stress. All the elders and centenarians still work. This whole retiring at 60 is ridiculous. People turn to mush, both in their brain and in their body. The only reason to do that is if you've got a sweet deal to retire and you're going to do something else on your own time to keep yourself very active. Otherwise, stay working. Daily consumption of small amounts of alcohol. That one I don't necessarily, I think that one's been said, and yes, actually there are some studies that show a little bit of consumption is better for longevity than no consumption, but as for somebody that just abused it for a bunch of years, I'm not going to really get into if one glass of wine or something a day is going to hurt you, but not for me. A sense of purpose in life. Spirituality is part of life in all of the Blue Zones. A complete absence of smoking and obesity, and everybody knows that the benefits of a positive attitude. So, there's a lot of things that are factored in there. Now, some things that aren't even factored in there, if we really want to operate on all cylinders, I was talking with somebody, or I sent somebody a message this morning, like it's all about, a friend of mine a while back told me this phrase, we were talking about something, and it's a good way to do it. There's good, better, best. He's got a issue with his intestinal tract, and I'm like, okay, well you can do this and it's going to help you some, but this is good, this is better, this is best if you could go all the way here. Well, it's kind of like that, how far are we going to go? We can be practicing all of this, but we also, if we really want to up the game, a good source of water, which I still don't have all the time. I'm getting better. Plenty of water, a good source of water. Meditation. If the whole spirituality, that thing, there just needs to be some quietness within yourself. You have to define what words you want to use, and you have to define what you're going to use. But there has to be some sort of aspect of connection, whether it is for a spiritual purpose, a letting go, or just dealing with stress. Stress. Another person I was talking with the other day. Stress will kill you. If you're just dealing, you might as well go ahead and go out eating everything you want to. If you don't know how to deal with stress, the stress will get you quicker than the food, the alcohol, or the cigarettes. So you have to find an effective way to deal with stress. You got to get some exercise. You know, since I've been back here in Costa Rica, I really noticed right after I come back, because my legs were sore. My legs were crazy sore the first 2 days because I don't walk any in the States, because it's uncommon for me to take a walk. I don't understand the concept of taking a walk because I live in a place where walking is part of my day-to-day. On any given day, I've already taken a pretty decent little walk today. I need to get one of those little things that track how far you walk, just to see how much I walk in my daily life, because I've caught, you know, almost every day since I've been back, I've taken and this is to go places. This isn't saying, okay, I'm going to walk here. But what we need is we need physical in our daily lives. It doesn't necessarily need to be going to a gym, but we have to move. We have to have a good sense of humor. Lighten up. The serious people die young. You know, the people that are always trying to nitpick, the people that are so serious, the people that are so deep, the people that try to penetrate everything and get to the core, and they want to argue and they're so far out there and so intelligent. Chill out, dude. Just breathe a little bit, you know. Be happy. Smile a lot. Laugh a lot. There's more to this lifestyle than just the food, and in fact, sometimes if it's just about the food, you may not be doing yourself too much of a service, because I think the people that only have the food as a source of taking care of their health and wellness are a little bit more high-strung. They just don't seem as healthy as the people that are a little bit more well-rounded. I look at the people out in this whole food plant-based movement, whatever form it takes, that look like they really have a well-rounded life, the ones that I want to emulate, and they're out there. But the ones that I'm really the most interested in operate on all these different aspects. It's just not food, sitting around preparing food. They're out, they're doing this, they're doing that, blah, blah, blah. They talk about different aspects. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and I hope you're having a great weekend. Love you guys. Peace.